Hey everybody, so today I am a bit of a mess. My hair is still wet because I couldn't be bothered to blow dry it. I have acne that I couldn't be bothered to conceal, and I'm in this room because nobody knows I do YouTube, so you want to be as quiet as possible. But anyways, today I am going to be thrift flipping some clothing because I have nothing to do and I feel like I want to try upcycling some clothing because my grandma does a lot of thrifting and she dumps all of her finds on me, and a lot of them are not really my taste, so I thought I might as well just put myself to good use and turn them into something I like. So I don't have a sewing machine because, well, I don't have a sewing machine, so I'm going to be doing this by hand today. So if anybody wants to learn how to flip things by hand, this is the video for you, although I have extremely mediocre skills and I learned how to do it yesterday, so I would say I'm an expert, but if you want to kind of watch somebody stumble their way through it, be my guest. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so here's the shirt. As you can tell, it's a bit long, it's a bit loose, summer camp vibe, free t-shirt kind of situation going on. So what I'm going to do is simply just crop it to my waist thereabouts and then take the shirt in so it's more flattering to my body. It's a more simple flip, but then again I'm hand sewing. And then I just take safety pins and pin the shirt tightly along my side. Yes, this concept is too difficult for my mediocre human brain to handle, but we are working here. I don't know why you'd be following along, but if you are, please safety pin the shirt inside out so it's easier to stitch later. But after I safety pinned everything closer to my side, I took my tape measure and measured where I wanted the shirt to be cropped to my waist and took down that number for later. Then with that number in mind, I took my tape measure and I measured where I wanted the shirt to be cropped, marked it with one of those fun looking pins. Push pin? I don't know the technical term for it. But then I took my ruler and my marker and I drew a straight line across where I wanted to crop the shirt so I would know where to cut for later. So then with the scissors that my mom never let me touch as a kid, I cut along the line that I just made as straight as possible to avoid having to sew a hem, because hand sewing a hem is literally the worst thing anybody could ever do in their whole life. Now on to the most exciting part of any thrift flip, the sewing. I first took my marker again and I just drew a line across the safety pins that I made earlier so I know where to stitch. I took this navy blue thread because it's the closest thing I had to pink for my seam, and then I just thread the needle. Yes, threading the needle is the most difficult task considering that I've destroyed my eyes with the hours and hours I spend on my phone. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this as eloquently as possible, but to hand sew a good seam, all you need to do is take your thread and make a stitch about the length of maybe 2 millimeters, and then the trick is to bring the thread back up as close to the first stitch as possible so that you make a really tight seam. After a quarter pint of blood lost later from pricking my finger a billion times, I finally reached the end of my shirt. So then I just sewed right through the sleeve and cut off the needle and thread and then tied it into a double knot. There are more effective ways of tying off your thread, but I'm just really unskilled in general and I really tried to figure that one out and I really couldn't. So after you're done your seam, on one side it should look like a nice straight line of thread, and then on the other side little dots of thread, and then I just repeated the same process on the other side. Alright guys, it's time for the moment of truth. What it looks like when I flip it, how the seam looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's a little loose, but I think it's pretty good. Looks pretty legit. And now stomping down the runway at 5'2", we have Jasmine modeling this shirt so awkwardly it could make me cry. But honestly, I think this shirt looks pretty good, it fits me well, and not a bad job. So yeah, that's the look. If anybody's wondering why the lighting's so different, I'm filming this at night because I totally ran out of steam earlier. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me stumble through this whole hand-sewn business. But yeah, that's it for the video. Stay tuned for more potential thrift flips and more tortured hand sewing, and if anybody wants to donate a sewing machine, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, stay tuned for more, and that's all for now. Bye!